Aloha. You're watching F5 On Demand. I'm Senior Technical Marketing Manager Peter Silva. We're in Las Vegas for Interop 2014 at Mandalay Bay Convention Center. We're in booth 2227. If you're at the show, please come on by and visit us. And I have one of my favorite interviewee guests, Ken Bocchino. He's a... What are you again, Ken?
A Principal Systems Architect for F5.
Now, why couldn't I remember that?
I don't know.
I always called you Senior Consultant, and you got this cool title change. So thanks for joining me again, Ken. Great seeing you.
Good seeing you as always.
And so this is the fourth year, right, that we're providing a lot of the networking services for Interop.net. And if you're not aware, the Interop network is the world's largest temporary network or infrastructure out there. And so I thought it would be cool to get Ken, like we do every year, to kind of give us some insight as to what exactly is going on with the Interop.net infrastructure. So we got a little drawing here. Ken, you want to give us a little highlight here?
Sure. So like last several years, we've been providing core services to the Interop network and to the attendees and the vendors here on the show. That includes our DNS caching technology, allowing all of our attendees to get quick resolution for all of the internet services they want to go after. We're also providing firewall services like we've done in many years past with the layered technology of DDoS mitigation and WAF technology with our ASM platform through the 3 different colos within the CenturyLink data centers. We're actually using and deploying our virtual edition at 5 gig licenses to manage all of the different DMZs behind the F5 devices. And then actually at the show, which we'll see in a few minutes, the F5 2400 chassis with 2 blades each, capable of dealing with the massive influx of traffic that we have here at the show. And that as well as providing AFM technology, or firewall technology, to provide protection to the backend services that run at the show from other vendors, as well as providing web acceleration and speedy technology for the Interop.com site. One of the things that we're also doing here at the show, as we kind of get the whole company involved with the Interop program, is our product development teams have actually been experimenting with some new technologies that we have that will be coming out in the next couple of years within the show. It's one of the greatest opportunities to work with multiple different vendors to be able to take advantage of actually interoping.
And so the reason for the 3 different colos is one kind of set up and the others fail over, or are they all active at the same time?
They're all active at the same time. We have 3 colos, one in Newark, New Jersey, one in San Francisco, and one in Denver. And at the Vegas show, we actually leverage transit. We have 2 1 gig circuits up to SFO and Denver, where all of the attendee traffic goes in and out of. And then there are services in those facilities as well that provide attendee access from all different vendors here at the show.
And so if I'm, like, say we're standing right here and I pull out my mobile device to connect, can you kind of show me the path that I might go through?
Sure, yes. So you're going to jump on the Ruckus infrastructure to get onto the wireless network, and then you're going to come through the Avaya core using the F5 devices for basic services to get onto the network, your DHCP, your DNS resolution. If you happen to go to Interop.com for your classroom schedule and attendee information, you'll be going through the F5 infrastructure using Web Accelerator, now called AAM, and caching, using cache content to expedite your ability to resolve and look up your information. And then as you transit out the network, you're going back through the core, out through the Cisco ASRs, via 1 gig links up through SFO or up through Denver, out the HP cores, and up to the CenturyLink data centers out to the internet.
So that's pretty cool. And with a lot of people on mobile devices, and I understand we're doing a little something special for those types of browsers to help speed up the various browsers that are on the show floor. Isn't that right?
Yeah, one of the cooler things that we're trying to highlight, it's not a new technology, but a lot of people haven't implemented yet, is Speedy. And I believe we have some good information that we can leave you with here.
All right, so let's swing over to the Speedy deck. Ding. Magic, isn't it? So I'm with Joe Wojcik. He's a consultant within our professional services organization. Thanks for joining me, Joe.
Absolutely.
First time on the show, isn't it?
First time in Vegas.
All right. First time in Vegas?
Yep.
Right on. Well, welcome. How do you like the mic flag?
That's very well done.
You like that, huh? All right, so tell us a little bit about the Speedy configuration you got going on here.
Sure. So the speedy configuration that we have here is very simple, actually. We have a normal HTTPS load balance VIP on our F5 LTM. We have a SSL profile because speedy requires TLS or SSL. And we have a HTTP profile, but really the big addition down here is the addition of a speedy profile. On 11.4 and later, we have a speedy profile setting that you can apply to the virtual server. And all that profile does is act as an endpoint translation service for speedy clients on the front side of the virtual server.
So for those who might not be aware, Ken was mentioning earlier, a lot of people haven't implemented Speedy. Can you give us just a quick, what is Speedy and why is it beneficial for organizations?
Sure. So Speedy is a draft created by Google in 2009. The idea is to improve upon some of the limitations of HTTP. It's not really a replacement for HTTP. It kind of exists between HTTP and TCP as like a translation layer. And so what it does is it provides multiplexing of multiple requests over a single TCP connection. It does compression all the time of headers, everything, reduces redundant headers. It basically just takes a lot of the design choices that were put into HTTP way back when HTTP was first designed and takes more of a modern spin on approaching those things in a world where a website consists of, tons of different objects, right. And we don't want to request those things one at a time on a transactional connection or over 6 transactional connections. We can do that much more efficiently and with better performance over one where we can request multiple things at the same time.
And that's really the key there, where when you go to a website, the browser is started, I need this, I need that, I need this, give me this, give me that, give me this. And it's all, each one its own connection and being able to conglomerate those into a single one.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other big things that Speedy has, which is a really interesting addition, is the ability to server push. So if I have a website which I know needs some CSS includes, some JavaScript, some images, in a classic HTTP world, I have to send them that index page, and then they have to come back and request all those things individually. With Speedy, there's actually the ability for the server, or in this case, us as the F5, to translate and say, by the way, here's a list of either hints, or we can go ahead and actually push the files out ahead of time and say, you're going to need these files in a minute, and I'll speed this up by sending them to you before you even ask for them.
Take it now.
Yeah.
And now I also see we have some of the cool graphs. I always like checking our big IPs for their graphs. And can you tell us a little bit about what's going on here?
Sure. So this is
Come a little closer.
This is our NOC LTM. We're running a Viprion 2400 chassis. And this is all of the traffic coming in and out through the Interop networks right now. You can see, well, we spiked up over a gig there for a minute, but overall we're passing anywhere between 2 and 800 on normal moment to moment. And
so what do you expect this to be at during the peak hours of the show? Do you see it sustaining up toward the gig mark or still hanging around the 500 meg mark?
I would expect it to be on the higher part of that during the actual show. Once we get more attendees in here and everyone's up here on the network, right. I expect to see that go up pretty considerably. So over the next few days, hopefully we'll see that go a little higher.
And so the other thing Ken was talking about was the security that we're providing. You'll also be able to see that stuff, maybe not on this screen, but within the big IP, you can get the statistics on that too?
Yeah, absolutely. We have the AFM, we have the application firewall, and we have the ASM, which is application security layer 7 firewall.
Right.
That product or both of those products, I should say, provide dashboard statistics and other stuff. So if you wanted to see how many threats we were blocking right now, you could pull that information up.
Cool. So we went from drawing the whiteboard to a computer screen with a GUI. So now, why don't we check out the actual physical hardware? So we're going to meet you now over by the racks. Follow us. And another dissolve.
Star wipe.
Yeah, right. Wipe. Now we're here over at the racks where the equipment is. In fact, we just walked. You probably will see it in the outtakes. We just walked maybe, 100 feet, 300 feet from here to there, give or take from our booth. Anyway, but you can come down and see the racks. So Ken, tell us what's going on in these racks. So guys, I see the 2400s.
So yeah, we have the F5 2400s with the B2250 blades. These actually have 4 40 gig ports on the front of them, which we actually are using 10 gig with an octopus cable, which splits out 40 gigs into multiple 10 gigs. And you can also see other vendors' equipment in this rack as well. We have our Avaya core switch, the Cisco ASRs that we talked about in the traffic patterns to get in and out of the network. And you see a bunch of fiber optic cable. So we ran pretty much all optical single mode fiber for the entire show this year.
And it looks like that they're replicated in both the racks, right? The same setup?
Yeah, so we essentially have an HA pair of F5, so 2 2400s with 4 2250 blades total running in an active-passive configuration, allowing us to fail back and forth. And we could actually run that in active-active configuration if we wanted to as well.
Okay. Pretty cool stuff, Ken. Hey, man, thanks for joining me.
Good as always.
So we got Ken, Joe on the other side. I got Paul behind the lens. Thank you, Paul. I'm Peter, and we're with F5 Networks. Thanks for watching.